Yeah, welcome to our very first video to share to everyone. Yeah, to share to everyone here, and it's quite intriguing that we are allowing you to have a sight of our understanding of the technicals. So that being said, we are pushing. We are recording this to give you a good insight of how we are looking at price action from our end and how we've been watching it. We've never altered these price levels. We're not creating them today for you. We didn't. We only maybe adding we didn't alter any price level. That's how they have been the last 8 years from 2020. Yeah, from 2020. That's to 2025 actively that we decided not to alter these demand levels. And right now, trust you me, this is right. Understanding the laws is a key to success. Understanding the laws of the land is the key to success. Okay? Rather that. Our analysis as set and forget traders, we have two quite intrusive analysis. We analyze the demand and we analyze the supply. In this chart, the demand are the AUD, Australian dollar. The supply on this next chart are the USD. So the supply chart allows us to see what the sellers are doing actively into the market so that we can know the price action. Okay. But the demand are the central bank from the Australian, who, when they want to place the orders, will use this chart. Remember, since 2020 till now, we guarantee that we have never altered any single price level. That's our confidence in what we're giving out here. Let's get back to a price level last year so that you can understand how we're relaying the information through this action. The demand originated from the demand level here, from the pivot demand. The green is the pivot. The yellow zones are the demand levels. They're the zones. But the green, any middle line, they're just the pivot points inside the price level. So you can see price created a lower low here and pushed price into the next demand zone, where buyers instead use the demand zone to place more orders, more and enough orders. That's a best entry, regardless of how many lot size you can use. But it gave a good entry into no resistance into buyers here. And as you can see, the next day they wiped liquidity, and the next day concurrently they entered because there were no less buyers. But that's a good entry of buyers, and they took price into the next demand level. How many points? 2,500 points. After buyers you crossed into the next demand zone, they took profits. And price came down into dashing into the next demand zone, because buyers will only place orders in the demand zone. Get that, buyers will only place orders in the demand zone. And as you can see, what's happening here, this is what we saw, and this is on the daily time frame. Buyers pushed back up, took profits in the near term. Price came rolling down into the demand zone again. Then buyers placed their orders. Again, they took another orders into the pivot. How precise is that? So buyers placed concurrent orders too. And as you can see, this demand zone helped in a great way. So buyers took profits. in the demand zone at 683.02 and 685.06. The next level is the demand zone. So buyers, after taking profits, they need to come back into the demand zone. And as you can see, the sellers knew where the buyers were hiding. And that's why there were two wipeouts. Because they knew here it's inside the demand zone, and the next is to eject them. So there was a short-term buying and buyers took profits, and you can see this whipsaw. Yeah, that's where the lower high is. And as you can see, this day the demand zone was on attack. Yeah, it's a very good game. You need to understand how the central banks are. Yeah, and the next demand zone tried to support price, as you can see here, tried to support price again up. You know, the buyers already taking profits at their levels, so when they take profits, they're okay. And you can price never closed above the pivot of the demand zone. Sellers had hard time again, but buyers, there was a consolidation in between the zone, and as you can see, the next pivot, buyers tried to place concurrent orders into the demand zone. They took profits. Guys, these are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days of active buying, and you know where the take profit is, because when you take the profits, you can see what the price did to the market. The sellers now knew the buyers are taking profits, and that's the only best time of them to enter the sell. Okay, the next pivot point, buyers never allowed sellers to close below it one time, and they tried pushing concurrent orders, and they mitigated, and they broke, and this was a good signal of buyers interested into the market, and they pushed back again into the demand zone. The pivot was the last take profit, and they bought back and they sold back. Buyers bought back, took profit in the near term, tried again, and pushed price into the next demand zone. Guys, this is what has been there, and this is what we've been seeing. This is December 2023, 21st December. The buyers took profit, and when they take profits off all this demand zone, they come back into, that's the best place. They never buy here. You can imagine how many days of avoiding mistakes you've run away from because you're just stuck to buying at the demand zone. And as you can see, it pushed out, came back up again, tried again, taking buyers orders, and fell down, and then pivot point again, pushed price. You can see quite a saver moment here, because buyers are never here. Buyers are only allied at this zone, and the big entry originated from the lower high from the previous, originated from this pivot point. Price went back into the demand. So most of the retail traders get trapped thinking this continuation pattern will outlast. This big engulfing 2 days worth of buying will engulf. But when you have this chart, you understand that buyers are taking profits off their demand zone. Sellers managed to push price back into the demand zone, where buyers were so affirmed that they can be able to close inside the demand zone. Guys, what else do you need? Because if you didn't take profits of this demand zone, this is quite a huge drop that's happening here. Yeah, hi guys. Okay, that's nice. So let's kickstart here. Yeah, and if you didn't take profits off this demand zone, the demand zone is here. If you didn't take profits off this demand zone, price really crashed and crashed. So the buyers were here. They were not here after they took profits. They came back here, the main zone here. And as you can see, price broke down, threatening buyers, and buyers brought it back. Sellers tried to push it, even closing below the price demand zone, as you can see. But buyers are firmly made sure that they placed their orders here, and they took the first profits here. Price opened below here, pushed price into the next demand zone, and they took some partial profits. There were too many orders. They pushed price into the pivot zone, consolidation inside the buyers and the pivot point. This is fast forward on 2nd July 2024. Yeah. Sellers had a good ride. Sellers at the USD. USD pushed price really lower into the demand zone, and the smart buyers placed their orders here. Placed their orders below, pushing price into the next demand zone and into the next demand zone. Those are whole days of active trading and avoiding mistakes by just being cautious of the direction and clarity of purpose of the wave. Sellers pushed price into the demand zone. Buyers bought it back. Sellers push it into the next demand zone. And as you can see, buyers placed the best entry. The best entry. They pushed price up. And again, and again. Those are like 3, 6, 9, 12, 15 days of active buying, with a difference in points of 3,000 points. That's 300 pips. Sellers pushed price below. Let's see. But as you can see here, buyers really bought it back. Buyers really bought it back and took profits at the demand, creating a lower high after they took profits at the demand zone, 0.66890. Pushing price lower into missing the demand zone. So they came back. The sellers came back and tapped on the demand zone. So it has been a week since, just a preview, is that since September 2024, USD has fell the price of Audi by 7,000 points. Yeah, because of the elections of the current President Trump, the USD has been really strong pair, and we've really enjoyed it. And now you're coming into, you can see even the near term price action. Three bulls closing inside the demand zone, and the next day the price fell. This was the first NFP of the year. It was the first NFP of the year, and as you can see, the date was 10th of January. 10th of January was on NFP, was on the Friday. Guys, you better believe this. They took profits, buyers entered, and they've closed on Monday, on Tuesday, on Wednesday, on Thursday, and on Friday. This is on Monday after NFP. Buyers closed up, they closed up again, and they took profits this day on Wednesday. They took profits precisely, and they took profits precisely. Price fell because buyers did take profits. And it was a miss or hit moment, because you can see on the 4 hours time frame, it was a very quick decision of taking profits, which they did. They had a second chance. This is the second chance after dollar had taken off their trades, their orders. Now Australian, they did take their orders on their Asian session, Sydney session. And buyers tried pushing it back again, taking profits, push price lower, put it up again, closed lower. Yeah, and you can see even on the last hour of closing the market, our understanding speaks for itself. Yeah, guys, our understanding speaks for itself. I'll allow you some 2 minutes, you believe, because on everything works according to laws. Nothing is random. Everything should align to laws because laws protect the product. The laws preserve the product. The laws create life for the product. Yeah. So we all need to. And you see, the central banks and the market makers know how to create them. Come to us. We help you understand the laws. This is the demand chart. So the next part, we're going to the supply chart. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. That's AUDUSD. The market closed at the current price of 0.61921. Quite impressive. Quite impressive. So the next is the supply chart. And the supply chart really helps us to understand where sellers having their entries and where they take their profits. And once we know this, if the price is on a bearish wave and the sellers need to take the price into the next supply zone, once they take the profits of this out of the supply zone, price is allowed to retrace back up, and that's the best entry for buyers. Now buyers need to have an extra understanding of their fellow supply sellers so that they should know where they're going to take profits of their sell. So fast forward to the 30th of January 2023, around there, the sellers made an entry of the supply orders and they took price. You can see all that big wave made sure price went inside the next supply zone. Just to remember you, we've never altered this chart for the last 4 years since 2020. The sellers took profits and the buyers were able to push price back up. When sellers take profit, they go into the next supply zone to sell. That's the best entry because you can see there was a rally, the bears, and the drop. How many times? 1 time, 2 time, 3 time. And after sellers are taking profits off, let's get back at it so that you can understand it. When the sellers take profits off from the supply zone, you can see buyers have a very good time to buy, and sellers make an entry again and take price inside. And by them closing lower, buyers try to give them a checkmate, but the reaction is due to reduced volume of the selling orders. Yeah, you can see right inside what's happening. So sellers took profits and they went back up again. If you don't go back, price again will favor you, but your profit will be back to zero and then back to profits again. But smart traders take profits. This is on the daily time frame, so you can imagine you have 3, 6, 8 days worth of buying here. Price fell again, and guys, if you want receipts, we can give you of every day here. We can pull it for 2nd July 2023. We see what was our reaction to price level during that day, because sellers took profits into this supply pivot line. Price really went and shot up because these guys are already taken profits off, and they did it in a very smart way that the common man will never grasp what's happening. Price shot up. Sellers again took profits inside. Bro, drop, we had a drop. It reached on the base and we had a rally. Price pushed back down again. Made a bullish orders. Price closed up. Price came down again into the previous. You can imagine that's how many points. That's 4,300 points. 130 pips. And how many days? 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 24, 27, 30 maybe. Let's say 1 month. 1 month of holding. Set and forget, because you understand the laws. Came back again. Sellers made an entry. Pushed for a new low. And after them taking profits, you can see most probably because 11th October to 29th September, there must be a demand zone. Yeah, let's see. Let's match them all so that we can see why there is no supply zone here. 5th of October 2023. Yeah, there's a demand zone here. We're trying to understand why there is 5th of October 2023. Where is it? Here. When you see the supply zone, you're not seeing any signs of, because sellers had the entry here. So when they have the entry here, they need to check if there is demand zone so that they can be allowed to pass, because that's the face of resistance. And you can see the demand zone is quite here at 630.58. Sorry. Yeah, at 630.58. Yeah, sellers price push back. Sellers tried selling it again. That sellers being USD, and they had a good entry at this place here. That's the only favorable place. And price took profits after the sellers paced into the supply zone. Price closed up. They took profits again here, and price shot up. After they take profits, there is a reduced volume of the selling pressure, and they made a good entry here. Pushed price low again. Price came up again and they sold. Bro, this was a good exit and a good entry, because sellers are aligned here. Sellers executed the sell order and they crashed the price. They really crashed the price with 4,500 points of trading. Price shot up again, and guys, all this we've been sharing to the community, and now we're deciding to give it to share it here so that you can have an access into this. Sellers entered again, those being USD, and they took profits and price went up. Sellers entered and they have been selling all through now. They have been having a good ride. They have been playing low, but now they played tough because they really manipulated, because we had a good entry, price coming down. Our zones have been proving to be quite useful. And after sellers took profit here, we've been waiting for price to get into this supply zone. Supply zone here. Yeah, you can imagine your envy us, because we had a good ride of 7,600 points. US election, all the common effects in the last quarter of 2024 recorded a good selling price. And sellers are going to take profits inside this supply zone. So you better stick around. And watch. Understanding. Guys, look at the 4 hours of the recent week. Look at that. After sellers took profit, price pierced into the next supply zone, because sellers need to cut losses and place their orders at the next supply zone. And as you can see, we always have a way. The lows, when you have the low, you have success. When you have the and price closed at the supply zone, 0.61940. Yeah.